Alrighty, hello and welcome back. How's everybody doing? It's IDP Bets. My name is Johny the Greek. It's week 14. You guys already know the guest this week, but if you don't, he is at Bogman Sports, all one word on Twitter. It is Scott Bogman of the InThisLeague.com family of fantasy sports podcasts. He is a well-known degenerate across multiple different sports. He's the winner of the Pentathlon League, which we've talked about before. And just one of the best in the business. Scott, it's always good to have you. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me back, Johnny. I always enjoy talking some IDP with you, and I hope your season is going great. Mine is going okay, right? Texas not in the tournament. That's disappointing. Steelers looking like they're going to fire Mike Tomlin, but my fantasy teams are okay. So I'm doing pretty good there. Not going to win pentathlon again, I don't think. So, but we may make money, but not gonna take the title in that one this year. We got knocked out too early in Survivor, and our picks have been not as good as last year. So best ball, we're still second. I think in our Roto League, we're third. So we're good there, but DFS for middling and those other two were not good. So we'll see.
Yeah, tough Survivor season. I was out immediately also. And yeah, I think we went like 8 weeks this year, which is actually long for us, but it's not been easy.
We have, in our Survivor in Pentathlon, we have 3 strikes. And
oh, nice.
Yeah, so we were in till like 3 weeks ago, but Niners knocked us out. I can't remember who they lost to. I think it was Carolina, maybe? No, they beat Carolina. I can't remember who it was, but the Niners got us. So yep. The way she goes.
That's it. Silver lining. Alrighty, before we get into it, just a reminder for everyone, these are not even suggestions. We are just discussing the bets that we'll be making personally. Please set a limit and stick to it. For help with problem gambling, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. A little transparency for last week, we went 7-1, including,
nice.
4-0 on sack props from Scott Soltis, which is, Scott, how hard is that?
That's unbelievable. 4-0 is great, man. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna hit like that. So I'll do my best here. I don't know if I'm gonna go 4-0. That's crazy.
Yeah, and with sack props too, those are incredibly hard to predict. So
they're like really touchdowns. Yeah,
exactly. Right. So very good stuff there. That's another 2 week in a row winning streak for us, and we've been winners in 4 of the last 5. So we're looking good. One more quick note before we get into it. These lines today are mostly from Underdog and Bet365. As we've mentioned, typically those guys are putting stuff out first with DK and FD to follow the morning of each game. And usually the lines and prices are pretty close to identical. All right, that's the housekeeping, though. Let's get into it. Mr. Bogman, what do you got for your first favorite IDP bet, week 14?
I'm going to start with Barrett Carter over 4.5 solo tackles. Now, the Bills are number 2 in time of possession, and they ran the holy S out of the ball with James Cook last week against my Steelers. We saw that happen, and Barrett Carter's been 100% snap shares in 7 straight weeks, and he's hit 5 or plus solos in 5 of 7 of those weeks. So I just think the Bills are going to possess the ball against what we know is a weak Cincinnati defense. I do think that last week, obviously, Cincinnati won. They beat Baltimore, but Baltimore had bigger issues than what Buffalo has right now. So Lamar clearly is not 100%. So that was, I think, that was one of the few weeks that he didn't hit this, because I think he was 3-3 last week because they had the ball for most of the game, the Bengals. But I don't think that's going to be the case against Buffalo. So I'm going to say Barrett Carter over 4.5 solos.
Yeah. Interesting you mentioned how bad Cincy's defense is. I had to do a little research for some of my picks. Dead last in points per game allowed, dead last in yards per game allowed. Not good at all. So
they're the worst against tight ends too. It's like tight ends are averaging, I think, like 3 more points in half PPR against Cincinnati than any other team. It's crazy. They just don't even worry about tight ends. They're just like, yeah, they're going to do their thing. Whatever.
Crazy, man. Yep. Yeah, I can see that. I think that's a good one. And I'm with you on the time of possession thing too. Definitely for Buffalo. Alrighty. Good stuff there. My first one, little interesting, but stick with me on this one. So I'm going to take Jonathan Jones, the backup for the backup cornerback in Washington, under 5.5 combined tackles at plus 105. So he's been the starter for 3 games, and he's been under this line in just one of those 3 games since Lattimore and Amos went to IR. But I think that's helping us this week. I think that's inflating his number a little bit. And that works out great because this week he's getting the Minnesota Vikings and their 25th overall ranking for allowing cornerback tackles with just 10.6 allowed per game. And it's probably even worse than that in reality because we had a few weeks of Carson Wentz back in the day. That's factored in here. And he was actually able to complete passes and deliver passing offense. That ship has sailed, right? We're back to J.J. McCarthy, who's completing 14 passes per game. And of those 14 completions per game, at least a third to a half are going to running backs and tight ends. So this one's pretty straightforward for me. McCarthy can't complete passes. When he does, it's a coin flip if they're even going to a wide receiver in the first place. Jonathan Jones is an outside corner. He's not going to have those slot and box snaps to get, tackles in the run defense game. And I'm betting that we will not be seeing a career performance from J.J. McCarthy this week. In an amazing.
The bar is pretty low on that, though. I'll say that. Like, it could be a career performance and still not be very good. So
exactly right. I just don't think we're getting that last second resurgence from Justin Jefferson and Addison just in time for fantasy playoffs, and we're all saved. I'm just not seeing it. But what do you think?
I mean, I hope for it. But I'm going to listen to the man who writes the cornerback corner every single week here. So, yeah, I think I'm going to roll with you on this one. Absolutely.
It sounds good. Alrighty, what are you thinking for number 2?
I'll go with a bigger one here. Zaire Franklin over 8.5 combined solos and assists. He after only hitting this once in the first 9 games of the season, he has hit this 3 weeks in a row, and his offense was bad against KC and Houston with lopsided time of possession. So that, might have helped him a little bit, but Franklin also cleared this against the Falcons when they were only on the field for 26:09 in that game. So he seems to be playing at a better level recently. So I think over 8.5 against Jacksonville should be pretty good. I mean, the Colts can't go to Jacksonville and win, right? So they should be on the field a lot, right? So I'm going to go over 8.5 combined for Zaire here.
Nice. Yeah, I love it. Pratt has been heating up too over there. Both linebackers.
Yeah. That was such a good acquisition. I was kind of surprised they let him go, but he picked up right away in Indy, so he's looked good.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe I'm crazy, but what's your take on this? Like, as the Indy offense has slowed down, those guys have picked up, and I mean that just makes sense, right? Like their defense is spending more time on the field. They barely spent any time on the field the first month or two.
Yeah, maybe they didn't get their rhythm until now, right? Like because it was just JT and Daniel Jones was taking his checkdowns and keeping the ball moving and wearing out those defenses, and then you have the best closer in the game right now, and Jonathan Taylor in the fourth quarter running over everybody. So that's the plan every week for Indy. It's just, is that going to come to fruition? And hasn't in Jacksonville in a while. So I think that defense is going to be on the field.
Yep, I'm with you. In fact, I agree so much that I also have a Colt.
Nice.
So I'm going to go Nick Cross over 6.5 combined. This one's off Underdog. He's doing this most weeks to begin with. He's cleared this line in 8 of 12 games already this season. And he's getting Jacksonville, as Scott just mentioned. Jacksonville allows the second most safety tackles per game with 15.6 each week. The Vegas total for this one is 46.5 with a 1.5 point spread. So we should be getting some offense, and we should be getting a back and forth affair, which always helps. If anything, the Indianapolis offense has slowed down in recent weeks, and they are now only the 21st ranked team across the league for offensive time of possession, where Jacksonville has improved to the point where they're 8th and possess the ball for about a minute and a half more than Indy each week. Brian Thomas is back. Brenton Strange is back. Jacoby Myers has been a solid addition. This Jacksonville team is looking great on offense recently. They've scored 35, 27, and 25 points last 3 weeks. I think when we put all this together, it's a great setup for Cross to get over this line. And even without all these good factors, this guy's doing it most weeks to begin with and is a super productive safety. So thoughts on Mr. Cross?
Yeah, I like this pick again, and I think all the stuff that you said about the Jaguars offense is just good reasoning for these bets here, right? It's and by the way, before the season started, Welsh and I do like predictions for the season, and I picked the Jaguars to win the South. He picked the Colts, and we live in I live in Houston, so I had some of my Texans buddies not so happy about the Texans not being selected to win that division, but both these teams are 8-4. This is a very good game here. But I just think, the Colts hit their peak a little bit ago. And I think the Jaguars are hitting their peak right now. And you said it, they're going to possess the ball. The run game has worked really well recently. Trevor Lawrence is playing on a better level right now. They're at home. I really like this game for Jacksonville. So I think Indy's going to be on the field a lot. I think it's going to be a lot of tackles for our boys, Franklin and Cross here. So hopefully we get one of these. We'll take one of them. That'll be a win. We'll take 50% all day.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty. What are you thinking for number 3?
Let's go to Josh Hines Allen over half a sack. He's had sacks in 4 of the last 5 games. Daniel Jones has only taken 22 sacks this season. So that would be, I believe, tied for 16th. So among starting quarterbacks, not bad, but he's had 16 of them in the last 5 weeks. So holding on to the ball, getting a little bit more happy feet. Also, they're not wearing out those defenses as bad as they had been to start. And Jacksonville, the last 5 weeks, is averaging 29.2 points per game. As you mentioned, I think you have to go point for point with the Jaguars right now. So I think the Colts are going to have to pass a little bit more. Gives Hines Allen a couple more shots to get this one. So over half a sack for Josh Hines Allen while he's on a heater right now.
Yeah, I was just going to mention the heater. So last 3 weeks he's had a sack, and then 4 of the last 5 as well after a slow start to the season. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah, he can really surge. And I feel like he comes on like a closer every year where he just has some massive game at the end of the year to help me, because I feel like I've rostered him. I have him in a dynasty league, but I also roster him all over every single year because he's one of those edge rushers that kind of gets overlooked after that initial wave of the big guys. He's like the top guy, and that's when people are taking linebackers and those top end safeties and stuff. So I'm rostering Josh Hines Allen like everywhere most years.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. Big same. Great option. Alrighty, good stuff there. Okie dokie. My next one is going to be Mr. Dax Hill of the Bengals. Getting over 5.5 combined tackles at -105. So he's cleared this line in 7 of 12 games this season. And this week he's getting the Buffalo Bills, who, this kind of blew me away, but it's true, are now allowing the second most cornerback tackles given up each week with 15 per game. So we'll talk about that in a second. But Dax Hill, his utilization and alignment / playing time have been excellent all season. He's been lining up in the box for a good chunk of his snaps most games this season, and usually gets a few slot snaps as well. So that's good for run defense tackles on top of the normal cornerback tackles. And even without that great alignment, as mentioned previously, this Cincinnati defense is horrendous. Dead last in the league in points per game, dead last in yards per game. They've been Swiss cheese, right? So Buffalo, I don't think, is going to have trouble sustaining drives against them, and that works well for us. Beyond that, the Vegas total is 53.5 points for this game. I think we're going to get a shootout and a little bit of a back and forth affair, which is also ideal. Buffalo has just recently crossed into this top spot or top few spots for cornerback tackles allowed each week, but I'm less worried about that with Dax Hill because he has the utilization, the playing time, and the historical production to guarantee a good shot at this regardless, just in case that ranking is smoke and mirrors and, maybe an outlier. So I think we got a good shot any way you slice it. Thoughts on Mr. Dax Hill?
Yeah, I mean, I like this pick as well. Buffalo is tough right now, so they're a tough out, and this defense, I know part of it is because the offense was shaky after Joe Burrow went down, but they were all right with Flacco, right? Like it's just leaky. It's bad. It's bad personnel on the back end for them. Up front has been rough because it's bad to start, and Trey Hendrickson has missed a big chunk of the season as well. So, they dropped one of their team captains in Logan Wilson and traded him to Dallas. Like, it's just been a very strange year. They're doing everything they possibly can. Dax Hill's one of their best players. They're moving him all over anywhere they can to cover up holes, right? So he's going to be out there every snap. And I think Buffalo is going to run over Cincinnati. Anyway, I hope for it every week because I hate Cincinnati. But, I think it's going to happen as well. I'm on Barrett Carter here. So, again, let's get one of these, right? Our minds are in the same spot on these bets here. So let's get some of these here because I think we're thinking game script is the same on these games that we picked together here.
Yeah, exactly. And we've talked about this before. That's all this is if you guess the game script right, you could probably craft a bet that's going to work out for it.
Correct.
That's
Yes.
all this is. Yeah. Alrighty, good stuff. That takes us to bonus. And Scott is the first person this season that actually listened when I said the bonus bet can be literally anything you want as long as it's football. Everyone else just does an extra IDP bet, but Scott's got us covered for something different. What do you got for your bonus bet?
I'm going to go with Kamani Vidal over 36.5 rushing yards. Now, I know Amari and Hampton is up, but I don't know that we are going to get the Bucky Irving first week back for Omari and Hampton. I think that it's going to be balanced between both of them, but also I don't know if it matters the way that Philly's run defense has been playing. They got run over by Chicago, and now Jalen Carter is out. That's not good for business, right? So I think that the Chargers, specifically with Justin Herbert, with the gimpy hand coming off of surgery, I think he's going to go. He's going to give it a go, but I just watched a miserable ass performance from Aaron Rodgers with his fractured wrist, right? They set up in pistol. They had him pitching the ball. They were doing all kinds of weird stuff just so they wouldn't have to have Mason Rudolph start that game, which I agree with, but it was ugly. So I don't know if we're going to get that from Justin Herbert, but I do know this should be a run first game with Hampton back and Vidal back. And I think Vidal is going to get enough carries, and I think he deserves them, right? I think he showed us enough while Hampton was down to have a role here. So I think 36.5 is just too low for a run defense that is leaky right now in Philly.
Yeah, and Zach Bond's questionable too, beyond that. So, yeah, the Carter news, man, not good. Not good. Let me tell you, we're in a DT only league. That was my first pick.
Oh, man. DT only. Who do you replace Jalen Carter with?
Something Briggs from
Thoughts and prayers?
From the Jets.
Juwan Briggs.
Juwan
the pride
Briggs.
of Cincinnati. Yeah. I know Juwan Briggs. I think the Browns drafted Juwan, I think.
I don't know. It's a Briggs guy from the Jets. That's all I know. And then Adebawari from the Colts is the other streamer I picked up.
Adebatomi. Northwestern. Yeah.
Yeah, it gets bad there once the starters go down. That's for sure.
Yes, you're just going and looking at snap percentages on all of these guys. All right, who's on the field? Who could possibly get me points? Right.
Pretty much, yeah.
That and big plays. Who gets sacks? So, Gervon Dexter, probably a high pick in that league, huh?
Oh yeah, he was my third pick. Yes.
There you go. Yeah. Very nice.
Yep. Yeah. We'll come knocking on your door next year, no doubt.
Hell yes, I love DT leagues. I'll do it. Absolutely.
Alrighty. Good stuff there. Well, yeah, I'm with you on Vidal. I way too low, and yeah, he's earned it. He's earned the touches. So, yep. Alrighty. My bonus for this week is going to be Mr. Nick Bolton over 8.5 combined. This is at -125. So he's only cleared this line in 4 of 12 games this season, which kind of shocked me. He's been a tackle away in another couple. But this week he's getting a Texans team that allows the 4th most linebacker tackles each week with 18.3 given up per game. And anyone that's familiar with the Chiefs linebacker situation knows it's Bolton and everyone else is a distant second, right? So Houston is averaging 27 rushing attempts per game, plus they've targeted Dalton Schultz a metric ton this season. Houston is the 6th overall team for tight end targets so far. Schultz has 80 just by himself to this point in the year. So, this one's pretty easy. Between the steady supply of rushing attempts and the plentiful tight end targets, I think we get enough to eat for Bolton. And then Houston's allowing so many linebacker tackles to begin with. It lines up well. And Bolton's been, hotter lately. He's coming off like an 11 combined tackle game. So, riding the hot hand, what do you think about Nick Bolton this week?
I like this one. And like you said, it's Nick Bolton, and then it's like just a trio of guys they rotate in different situations and stuff. So I like this one. Yeah. Is Kansas City making the playoffs this year? I think they're still going to make it, but I would love to not see them make it. But I did see a nice meme the other day. It was Thanos with like the Patriot head over him, and it said, "You prayed to see the Chiefs lose. Where'd that bring you?" Back to me, right? Like, because the Patriots are back in first, and this is, a lot of the Steelers fans love to talk about how, look, Mike Tomlin has been around long enough for the Patriots to build the dynasty, dismantle the dynasty, and then start a new dynasty. It looks like, and not win a playoff game. So, yeah, I'm starting to be annoyed, but I think there will be a change at the end of this year. But I'll give you one more, too. I just don't have the numbers on it yet because Patrick Queen is questionable. Yeah. But I like Steelers linebacker. Like, if it's Peyton Wilson, if it's Patrick Queen, whoever is going to get the most snaps, because the offense is pathetic right now, right? Like, Aaron Rodgers is not 100%, doesn't look good. I know the Ravens have their own faults as well. But should we get a little bit later into this week, tomorrow night, and we'll know what's going on with Patrick Queen, I think he's going to end up playing. But I think whatever his total is going to be, if it's like 6.5, 7.5, as long as it's not 8.5 or higher, I think we're going to take the over on Patrick Queen as well.
Nice. Yeah, I love that. And yeah, I had to pick him up. Wagner's beat up in a couple of places, and Queen was out there. So I've been eyeing Queen. He was declared healthy like late this afternoon, so he's good. Yeah. He's good to go.
Yep. Good. Yeah. So once we get numbers for him, I think I'll have another bet on him as well.
Nice. Love that. All right, there you go. 2 bonus bets for everyone. All right, so any of you that are not familiar, maybe should know that Scott is like one of the experts of college football. So I would be remiss if I didn't ask him for some quick predictions for Texas Tech, BYU, Georgia, Alabama, and Indiana, Ohio State tomorrow.
All right. So I think the cleanest one is going to be Texas Tech beating BYU down. Now, BYU's got a shot to make the tournament here. If they win this game, they win the Big 12 and they're in. So it would be interesting. I think Texas Tech stays as well, but I think BYU would maybe push Notre Dame out at that point, which is unfortunate for Notre Dame, but beat A&M, beat Miami. So schedule better also. I'll say that. But so I think that's the cleanest one we have out of this. You asked about the ACC title game too. That's Virginia easy over Duke. We saw that game a couple weeks ago. That one is going to be a simple one. The SEC title between Georgia and Bama. I like Georgia. Bama has more to play for. There's a chance that Bama could still get pushed out. I don't think it's going to happen because they were first out last year. I think they're going to stay in. But I just think, Bama played their best football already earlier this year. They peaked, right? They're not peaking right now. And I think Georgia might be playing their best football right now. Gunnar Stockton is a stud. He's not like a major NFL prospect. But he is a leader and he gets the job done. I think a lot of points in that game too, because neither one of those teams has been good at rushing the passer this year. So I believe Georgia's like 129th in sacks this year. They are just like all their pass rushers are in the NFL now from last year. So they're playing in the NFL and they're good in the NFL too, but it left Georgia with a barren cupboard there. And then the Big Ten title game, man, like it's just hard to pick against Ohio State, right? Indiana's very good. I think these are the number 1 and number 2 teams in the country, but Ohio State has played one-score game the entire season. That was against Texas week 1 in Julian Saint's first start ever. So they've just been beating the brakes off everybody. Give Indiana credit. They've been beating up everybody too, but they did have some close calls, right? They had a close call on the road at Iowa. Well, not really a close call, but they didn't cover. I can tell you that much because I had them. And then they should have lost to Penn State. That was an incredible catch, right? I'm sure you saw the replays of that and Gus Johnson losing it and all of that. But incredible play by Indiana. But they were, this close from losing a game and probably being ranked 4th or 5th, still very high. But I think until somebody gives Ohio State a game, is just going to be Ohio State, because even in that 1-score game against Texas scored late in the 4th to make that 14-7. So I just think that defense is dominating. It's beating the brakes off of everybody. So I'll lay the points and take Ohio State, but it's not with a lot of confidence. I'll say that. Texas Tech is our bet tomorrow for sure.
Nice. There you go. Heard it here first. Thank you, Mr. Bogman. That's good stuff. Always love having you on, man. For anyone that's just discovering you, where can they find you? What do you do in the season?
Sure.
And any announcements for the crowd?
Well, thanks for having me back again, man. I always love doing this show. It's a fun show. I love talking IDP. I don't have an IDP show anymore, so I love getting involved and talking some IDP here with you as well. But you can catch me on In This League. Like you said, I do the fantasy football show there twice a week with the Welsh. We just picked the baseball back up as well because we're a big baseball podcast as well. So that is clicking up now that the winter meetings are going to be happening here pretty soon, and we're going to start to see a lot of player movement. But a lot of college football. I cover that over at Betting Pros with Seth Woolcock. He and I do the college football shows over there twice a week, and then I have a solo show with my best bets and props for the week as well. And then I do NFL coverage for Fantasy Pros as well. I do the Dynasty show with Pat Fitzmaurice and Ryan Wormley. That's in the off season, but we also do a Discord show every Tuesday, every other Tuesday, actually. It's Worm and Fitz for one, and then me and Fitz for the other one. And then I do the wrap-up show on Fantasy Pros on Sunday night as well, going over the biggest stories of the day and the injuries with Deepak Chona and all that good stuff. So lots of, and I cover Monday and Thursday night football betting at Betting Pros as well. So I forget all the stuff I do every single week. So lots of shows. You'll probably get annoyed with me, but if you enjoyed this, follow me at Bogman Sports on Twitter, and that's where I tweet out everything I do.
You really should. Everyone should. Lots of coals in the fire. I love it.
That's right. Thanks for having me back, man. I appreciate the invite always.
Oh, absolutely, man. We'll be knocking on your door for the Super Bowl. You already know that. Degenerate
yes.
Roundtable. Degenerate Roundtable.
Yeah, let's go.
Alrighty. Thank you guys for watching. Before we get out of here, please subscribe to our YouTube channel for our other shows, the flagship IDP Show podcast, the IDP After Show, the IDP Trade Show, and IDP Drafts. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so for just $5 a month over at theidpshow.com. We've got premium features for paid supporters that we know you'll enjoy. Follow us on Twitter at the IDP Show, all one word. Thank you for watching and listening. Good luck in Week 14, everyone, and we'll catch you guys next week. Take care. Bye-bye.